Hello ladies and gents, today we want to start working on managing users. So last time we left off with our navigation done here, so now we can navigate through all these different screens. Today this is the screen that we want to work on. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at the design real quick. So looking at this, we have point of sale done, so now we need this table for managing users. So first let's add the top bar, which will contain our add new button. Alright, and then divide up the rest of the box for our table. Alright, so just gonna put this on the side. Now what I'm gonna do is just close out of everything else here. All we need now is just users and probably the users.py file. Alright, anyway, so just gonna move this here and let's start working on our manage users. Alright, so first what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some padding to basically left, right, and center. Left, top, right, and bottom. So that'll be 12 pixels padding for all of the corners. And then what I'm gonna do is orientation is already vertical, so we can just add a box layout here. And no, we don't want vertical orientation. What we do need is the size hint, and what we need here is the height. So this box layout is going to be the box that contains our add new button. Alright, so just gonna give it DP 54. I think 54 should be good. Alright, and then I'm just gonna add our other box layout, which is going to contain our table. So we can just do, box table, because that's what it is. It's just a box layout that's going to contain our table. So our table is going to have headers and data. So let's give this box an orientation of vertical. Alright, and then let's add the box layout for our headers. That's where first name, last name, username are going to be. Alright, so this is going to be size in Y of none, and then a height of maybe 42. Alright, and since I want to give this a background, I'm going to use our backbox. Alright, so let's give this a B color, and the B color is going to be app.color secondary BG. Hopefully that's the color that we need. So let's add spacing now. Spacing between the text, I'm going to start with 12. If it's not what we want, we can always change it later. Now let's add our box layout, which is going to contain the scroll view for our user tiles, basically. Alright, so let's do scroll view, right? And then let's do scroll. So this tells Kivy where you want to scroll, horizontally or vertically or both. So in our case, we don't want to scroll horizontally, so that will be false. We want to scroll vertically, yes, so that will be true. And then we definitely need to give our scroll view a size, like a defined size, so that it knows when it's time to scroll, right? Basically, when the size of our content becomes bigger than the size of our scroll view, then the scroll view will start scrolling, but it needs to know what size it is. So we'll give it a size, we'll give it a height. Since we're only scrolling horizontally, this height will be whatever this scroll view's parent's height is. So basically, this scroll view's height will be bound to the height of this box layout, and this box layout will be the height of this box layout minus the height of the columns. Alright, with that we are done with the scroll view. So let's add the container for the things that are going to scroll. So we're going to use the grid layout, and we're going to give it an ID because we're going to be generating these widgets dynamically. So I'm going to call this GL users because it's going to contain users. Alright, I'm going to give it calls equal to 1. That means only one column in our grid, which basically tells the grid layout to put all our widgets as rows, because we only want to have one column. Alright, let's add some spacing to our widget. I'm going to give it 8. What else? that should be it. So let's give our grid layout a height, right? So this is a starting height for our grid layout, and then it's going to increase as we get more widgets. So what is the height? Well, the height of this grid layout is going to be whatever the minimum height of this grid layout is. Alright, so just like that, we are done. So call spacing grid. I believe that should be all. Okay, so with that, we are done with our basic setup for our table. Now let's come back here and add our button. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to add a box layout just in case we ever want to add anything else to this, and then I'm going to add our rounded button. Actually, should we add I'm just trying to think, hold on. Alright, I'm going to add a backbox actually. Alright, so what I'm doing now is I noticed I can't just add a rounded button because we have an icon here, and right now we don't have a button that supports icons. So what we're going to do is we are just going to cheat. What we're going to do is basically we're going to create a backbox which is going to contain that background color, right? And then we're going to add our rounded button and then a text icon to the left of it. Then it's going to look like it's a button with an icon, no difference. Alright, so radius, the radius is going to be self.height times 0.1. We will start, let's start there. Let's start there and see what we get. Alright, I definitely want to change the size hint. Let's give it 0.2 actually. Alright, and with that, we should be good. So now we're going to add a relative layout, and that is because I actually want to add the icon below the button so that the button is clickable for the whole width of the backbox. Okay, so we're just gonna do relative layout. Okay, and then in our relative layout we're just gonna add text. Alright, and this text is going to have text of an icon, and this icon is going to be icon, and I do not know, is it icon plus? Let's search for it. So icon plus, yep, icon plus. Alright, so icon plus, and the color of our icon is going to be white. Alright, so it's never gonna change, so let's just do white, just like that. And then this is the most important thing in our text. We want it to be aligned to the right, and then in our backbox here we want to pad this. So I'm going to say left and right, I want to pad it by 8. Top and bottom we can just stick to 0. I don't think it's going to matter much. Alright, and with that, I think we are done with the text. So let's add not a rounded one, but a flat button. We don't want it to have a background because our container already has a background and we haven't added it here. So we're going to add it in a second. So for now, let's just do add new, and then let's align this to the left. Alright, the color is just going to be white. Alright, and with that, I think we're done. Alright, let's add our B color, and this is going to be app.color primary. Alright, so before we go any further, let's just see how it looks in case we have problems. Alright, so maximize, go to manage users, and yep, oh my god, it's too big. But the basic concept of it is that we see we have a button and an icon. Alright, let's shrink this, let's increase there. Okay, so close that and go to and we actually want sizing X instead of sizing Y, so that's why it was too small there. Alright, and with that, let's see, I actually want to give it 0.1 instead of 0.2 actually. Alright, see what we have. Alright, manage users, add new, I love it. Maybe increase the size of the fonts a bit. Alright, let's go down here and let's do fs. Yep. And we want app.fonts.size.h3 for both. And I want to increase this 2.2. And with that, I believe we should have what we want. So manage users. Still not as rounded as I wanted, but I think it's getting there. You know, I might actually leave it like this. I think I like it more like this. But anyway, just in case you really want to round it, you could give it 0.8. Usually, if you give it a height equal, like a radius equal to the height, it will smoothly round it. But usually 0.8 works better. So, alright, that's too much. Okay, let's try. If 0.8 is too much, 0.45 should be good. That's basically half of what we had before. Alright, there we go. So now our add new button looks exactly like the add new button we had over there. Alright, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, where's our back box? Right here. I think I'm going to give it 12 because I think the text and the icon are too close to the edges. Alright, add new, looking good. But if it's small, doesn't look as good. Well, in that case, we could simply say if it's small, then we will lose the icon, right? If basically what that means is if our back box is too small because of the screen, then we would rather have the text instead of the icon, right? So we'll just hide the icon behind our button. All right, so we'll substitute that for our rounded button and give it a background color. All right, with that said, we will definitely need to give it a radius, but I'm not gonna give it too much, just maybe 0.3. And I believe that should hide the icon if it's too small. Yep, so now the icon doesn't appear if it's too small, but if it fits enough, now the icon is completely gone. And I know why. What we can do is, actually I'm just gonna do this, anchor layer. Alright, and I'm going to anchor on the x-axis to the right. Alright, and I'm going to take this, put it inside our anchor. Alright, and then I'm going to give you a size in x of none. Then I'm going to give it a width of self.height. Alright, that will ensure this text is always a box. And then for our box layout, I am going to give it, let's give it an anchor layout as well. Right, and then I'm going to anchor each on the x-axis to the left, right, and then take that box, put it inside our anchor, so this will be pushed to the left and this will push to the right. Alright, and then our size in x is that, so our size in x for our box layout will be, let's do 0.8. That will ensure that it doesn't cover the full width. Alright, so now if we do that, we should now see our text. And that is because even though this is a rounded button, it actually ends around here. Alright, so we're just gonna close that out. And what is this thing? Font size, this is what I'm looking for. Alright, so font size, I'm actually going to change the font size to be relative to the width of the box. So it's going to be self.width and times about 8. Alright, and then I'm going to make that SP. Actually, there's no need. Alright, I just want to see how big our button is going to get relative to the width, and now it's too big. Alright, so let's change it to 0.1. Add new with that. Now if you increase this, alright, looks like let's try 0.4. Alright, and what I'm trying to do is dynamically size this text based on the width, so that it never covers our icon. Alright, so do that, do this, and alright, 0.3 is still too big, so 2. Alright, there we go. So now if we increase, it still fits. If we decrease, it still fits. Alright, there we go with our button. Now let's what do we want to add next? Well, we want to add our texts. So now this is basically the columns. Alright, so I'm going to add padding, and padding is going to be left and right. Let's do 12. Top and bottom, we'll just do 0. Now we add a bunch of texts in here. So text is going to be first name. Alright, and the color is going to be app.color primary underscore text. H-align is by default horizontal, so we don't need that. The font size is going to be app.fonts.size.h3, and with that I believe we should have everything. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Save that, run this, see what we have. Alright, manage users. Looks like it's pretty evenly separated. So this is going to be last name, this is going to be username, this is going to be password, and date created, and then finally the last sign-in time. Alright, and what I want to do is I want to increase the password, and I'm going to size the encrypted part. Alright, so you do that with markup. So I'm just going to do size, and I'm going to do, let's do 14 for now. So when you open a tag, you also have to close that tag. So just going to do that. So what this does is this text box has a size of h3, which is 20, right? But adding the markup in here says that encrypted is going to have a size of 14. So this encrypted text is not going to be affected by the size of the global size of this text. Alright, now with that said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just going to give this let's try to size these. Alright, so 1.5. If you say 1.5 plus 1.5, you get 3. Then it's 4.5. Then it's 6. 7.5. That's not gonna fly. If that is 7.5, then this is going to be, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm trying to give this one more width than the rest of them. So 1, 1, 3, 1, 1, 3. That's 6. 7.5. So if we give this, I think 2.5 will be too big, but anyway, Let's give it 2.5 and see what we get. Alright, manage users. And actually, that looks pretty good to me. Alright, so just going to leave it like that. And what I want to do is get the brackets out of the sizing. Just like that. Alright, and with that, we are done with the top part. Alright, looking good. Now, this is where we're going to stop for this one because we've taken too much time on that button. Alright, in the next one, we are going to add the table, right? Basically, we're going to create the widget, the user widget, and then we're going to populate it dynamically. So if you have any questions, ladies and gentlemen, leave them in the comment section. Otherwise, as always, I'm Sam, and I will see you in the next one.